Okay. Hey, what's music still playing? Oh, it's over here. Now, guys, you guys all know that intro is real, right? That's not from a movie. That was real Bigfoot running down, grabbing the guy off the four-wheeler, shooting his head off. That's not from a movie, Nikki. That's actually real.
Scary. Yeah. I'm gonna
Well,
stay
what's I
home.
think what's more scary nowadays is some of the stuff that people do try to get past. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's and that's why I named today's show. And I mean, what is the benefits of video faking? I mean, what do people get out of it? I mean, is
Big
it
old zero. They
I
get
mean,
nothing out of it but heartache and it's crazy
it's
that anybody would even try to do that in this age where things can be checked and vetted and you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Just like in my thumbnail, I put advantages like disadvantages. Of course, the first main thing is money. Maybe people think they could get a lot of money from a video, or
Right.
maybe they think they'll get a reward, or they get invited to conferences to be a spokesperson, famous, or get a contract with the network and all that. Because if you get a contract with the network, even if then the video comes out, hey, that video's fake. You already got a contract that the studio's already going to back you up. No, it's
Right.
they don't
Right.
care. They don't care because without
You know,
the networks are not aiming for people like you and I. They're not aiming for us. They're aiming for everybody else who don't care to check things. They don't care where the video comes
right.
from. They just like sit there and like, wow, you know?
Yeah, well, there's the large portion of the people who do cryptid or paranormal research. They're not researchers. They are just here for the fun of it. They just want to hear, the good stories, to have fun, and enjoy that. They're not here for the truth. They don't want the facts, and that's okay. There are those people who can
Yeah,
go and do that, but uh if they wanna be fooled, that that's a baby Bigfoot, okay, fine. It's not. I believe there's something out there. I do, but the amount of BS that is coming out, through social media is ridiculous, and I don't think I should have to say, "Oh, yeah, that looks great," when it doesn't. We all have eyes, and we all know that there are, BS pictures out there, and I think we should say so. I think we should say that is a log. Sorry, that is a stump, and there's no way around that. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
it's it's almost like you take a camera and you're just snapping 100 pictures up in the woods, just 100, and you're just looking for one that has a blur or something, and then boom, here you go, there it is.
Mhm.
And because
Yeah,
almost every picture I've always seen, it's always on the backside of a Bigfoot. We'll talk about it because some of your pictures,
yeah,
shows a back of a Bigfoot. There's really never like a. I know Bigfoot people will say, I hate when people say there's not a clear picture, but the thing is about that is with the technology nowadays, with the cameras, with the drones, it's almost like if I don't get a clear picture, nothing else is real because we got the new technology. And I know there's sometimes people add in science fiction. Listen, if I think they're real. I know, I always talk about our experiences, my experiences and stuff. We know what we saw, but the thing is there's so many. Okay, what I'm getting at is if it's real, it's flesh and blood like us. Okay, but where it starts to get crazy is when we start adding science fiction to them, where well, it's fuzzy because they don't want to be captured, so they got this power to do things. They
right.
got this power to go invisible, or they got the power to mirage with the forest. Now there are animals. insects and stuff that can do that, but a 7-foot creature, I don't know about that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of narratives out there, and it just if you wanna follow the Wu train and believe that they disappear into trees and that the aliens come and take them away and bring them back, and that's your journey, whatever, that if you feel there is enough evidence to support that claim, have at it. I'm not here to tell you not to do that. I'm here to say that I think it's bullshit. I think there's not 1 ounce of um, evidence, and when I say evidence, hard evidence, stuff that you can touch like prints or, if we happen to get some DNA, but there are definitely questions that aren't being answered.
Yes,
Why
yes,
haven't we gotten any more video like the Patterson-Gimlin or the Freeman footage? And
yes,
even those are scrutinized, okay? Why haven't we gotten more with the technology we have?
exactly. Because that's a good picture of the Gilmore one. That's a great shot. And that's with the technology that was back in the 60s.
Right.
We are in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. We're in the 2020s. And we can't even get one that's half on par with that footage.
Right. Yeah.
It
It's
is so crazy. Now, I know you and I both, I think, oh yeah, first of all, Danny is correct on this. The problem is when you do call out people, the followers do go after you. I know what he's talking about because even if, you and I have both been involved with, you know, people we found
right.
out, or I don't know, we were blind to the fact that they were faking something or not. And then you finally come out and say, you know what, I don't believe this. And the people who are already behind certain people, no matter what, they're behind them.
Oh,
You you,
yeah.
you can show somebody 100%
Mm,
proof. It doesn't matter no more. It's like that's why do people want to get on TV and on a network? Because once you're there, no matter what, people are going to follow you, and everybody else is lying except them.
they have hardcore followers, and that's not gonna change, and now it's super easy for them to hit you with a copyright and to jeopardize your own opinion, your own channel, just for your opinion. If you don't like my opinion, you should be able to move on, right? And that goes both ways. If they talk crap about me, you know, you need to put your thick skin on and try to let that slide or go off into the distance because but that's not what happens. Now people get their butt hurt and they just want to attack your channel, try to have your channel removed, and go about it in kind of not the right way
Yeah.
because this platform is meant for everybody to express themselves, and we can't do that because now, we have uh Big Brother always watching what we're saying, how we're doing it, who our audience is. Do we have a happy channel? That's not for them to say what, we want to do. If it is, then that needs to be stated prior to us starting
Yep.
channels on our opinions and on our hobbies and what we like to do. But hence is why I have to have my another channel. I just created Sasquatch Dark Secrets so that I could have a platform to talk about what I really want to talk about occasionally without having to threaten the channel I work so hard
Are
to
you sure
bring
it's not a dark web versus
up.
dark secrets? Nikki's going on the dark web,
Well,
people.
so if they wanna hit that channel there that Bez doesn't probably barely has 50 subscribers right now, um, fine. Do what you wanna do, but it's not associated with this other, it's if they hit that one, that's a whole different email, it's a whole different everything. You know, I made sure that that is its own entity, and then I'll just share it on my other channel. You know?
Well, this is funny, Nikki. I mean, Ron Cosmic Neighbors knows this. I did a video on something, and they had me take it down. They found a way for me to get it taken down. It wasn't copyright of the footage. They had me take it down because I had the person's symbol, their symbol. And if you put somebody's symbol on your channel, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just create a new thumbnail, pop it back up, which I did, and it's gonna get people to watch it all over again. It's like you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, you're just
Yeah,
having people watch it a second, third time because I'm
yeah.
just gonna change the
I'm
thumbnail and
currently
take.
working on a big show that I've had to do that. All the receipts, okay, because they always wanna say, "Well, bring the receipts, bring your proof." Well, I got all that, but I'm even going to the point of blocking out every single screenshot of what people have said, and I'm blocking their names, I'm blocking their little symbol, and I'm just leaving the words on all these screenshots of text messages and posts that are even they are out in the public, and I still have to do that because that's what they will try to say is their information, or that I'm, trying to get them blacklisted or whatever they're gonna say, but
There's the link to your channel. Your new Is that your new one? No, that's not
that's
secret.
my regular one.
That's your normal one. But I know
Yeah,
Danny. Danny will put the I don't know why I want to call it the dark web, but
the dark
the dark
secret.
secret. But I like Robert Alley. I'm so glad he's here. He's one of the earliest subscribers I ever had back from 2018. He wrote pretty much everything from the X Files is real. I love that. I love that. Now you sent me some pictures and stuff, and then I'm going to show you a couple of videos. I want to get your honest opinion on a couple of videos, and we're not going to
Sure.
talk individually about a person or not, but I like to get other people's perspective on
Mhm.
videos. Like, Eric, are you going too far on something? And I know with you'll be honest. You'll be honest on the footage. We're not talking about the person. We're talking about the actual footage. And
Yeah, there's
sometimes
no reason to attack. Sometimes, yes, okay, if they're being nasty, you wanna get back at somebody, but get them at their word, at what they're showing, that's what it's about, uh, attacking the footage, attacking the pictures, not the person, and you'll find that the opposite end will happen where if you say something bad, they immediately wanna attack the person, okay, who's saying it, not the words that are coming out of my mouth, not, the facts or anything I have to corroborate what I'm saying. It's just,
exactly.
oh, she's just, she doesn't even have 1,000 followers. She's nobody. She's just they love calling me names, and that's where it goes, which if you call me a name, then I've already won. I've won because you have nothing to say about the words, you know?
I think this is your other one right here. Here it
Yeah,
is.
that's
Sasquatch Dark Secret. I still think if Nikki changed the
there's
name
not
to
anything on there
Sasquatch
yet.
Dark Web,
Okay.
I think you'll get more people. I think,
The dark
oh
web.
gosh, she's got Bigfoot on the dark
Maybe
web.
I'll incorporate that in there.
Which I've always asked people, well, how do you get to this dark web anyway? I mean, where is this dark web I
Oh,
always hear about? But
the
we don't want
server.
YouTube to hear that. They'll definitely shut us down. But
Yeah.
everybody knows, last week I went to Oregon for a couple of days. My daughter had to do, and
Oh,
I think I found Bigfoot over there. And why can't I? Oh! There it is. And there it is. I found Bigfoot. I
you did.
found Bigfoot at a Indian casino, hanging out in a gas station.
Nice. That's a pretty good one too. I like that one.
It is, and that's literally that big, and
Yeah.
that's not a cardboard. That's an actual Bigfoot thing, and then you guys didn't see it but the worker said, "Can you get off of the Bigfoot?" I was like shaking hand. I was thinking,
Oh
oh, the
my
pictures, the
gosh.
wife had her camera, and like, you're gonna break the Bigfoot. I'm like, okay,
Eric
all right,
molesting the Bigfoot.
breaking the Bigfoot. But that's the Oregon Bigfoot hanging out at a gas station. Maybe he's just getting there getting a couple corn dogs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe Bigfoot was just going to the casino to gamble. Who knows? But here's some pictures that you sent me right here.
Right.
And it first of all, when I look at this picture, just basing it off the picture, don't know no history. I don't know the history of this, but me just looking at it from that angle, it, the hair around the face doesn't look naturally connected to the face. If you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if I
Mhm.
expand, the face looks separate than the hair. It doesn't mold properly together. I mean,
Right.
just basing it off that picture. I mean, it's
Yeah.
but I'm
Um,
sure I'm sure a lot of people, when you I mean, actually,
this comes up
is there a history
every
behind that, Nikki? I mean,
yeah,
what's
every year this picture along with some other ones come up in regards to people have named this photo the Chaka footage, the Chaka video.
oh, from, Land of the Lost.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yes. Chaka. I love
Chaka,
Land of the Lost.
call him Chaka.
Not the
And
movie, people, not the movie remake. I'm talking about the original '80s, '70s Land of the
yeah,
Lost.
yeah, the original. And it's part of a hoax. It's part of the Beacon Bigfoot hoax that was created by Ron English and his son. And my findings tell me that I think the son had some type of documentary student film he did, and he created the Beacon Bigfoot documentary, which you guys can go and find online right now. It's still out there. I think it's under Ron English.
Do you know
And
how many hits this photo ever got? Probably
oh,
millions, huh?
millions. Yeah, it's a very, very popular, but it comes up all the time. This one and the baby Bigfoot on the back of the mama Bigfoot. And that is part of this family. It's like a family of 4 or 5. It's the mom, the dad, the Chaka, and then another mom with a baby in the back.
If you look
And
at this one, right, it looks like the hair around the face is going over the full mouth. If you
yeah,
look at the mouth, it looks like a little angle. It looks like that the hair is going over part of the mouth. I mean, it literally looks like a costume wrapped around a face. It really does.
yeah,
And that's funny because if you look, everybody look at the picture. What I'm talking about is look at the mouth part. It looks like the mouth is not ending where it hits the skin. Because if
yeah,
I have hair around here, the mouth should be, I don't know, half an inch away from the hair, but it looks like the mouth is going through the hair.
yeah,
Wow. That's a, I mean, hey, if people think that's real, I mean, that's a, wow. And I'm sure that's the same one. Is this one? Is this related to this one?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's just that blown up. Um, and then I sent you, the whole family
Oh yeah,
to
yeah. I
prove
got it
that.
all. I got it all
Yes,
here.
it's part of the Beacon Bigfoot. He takes all his Bigfoots and shows them in a big expo he has, because Ron English is a cartoonist and artist, and he has what's the name of his work?
Can you stop
It's like
licking my leg?
urban art type stuff, and he does expos and galleries and stuff, and he takes them with him and he displays them out there for everybody to see. And yeah, it's in, I think the last time I heard, it's in New York. But that's it. They're just statues, out there, and people want to believe it. They just want to believe so bad because there's a baby. There's a little cute little baby.
Yeah. Hold on. Did I hear you right? You're saying this guy is saying, are you saying that this is not replicas? He's saying these are the real, they're stuffed?
Oh, no. He created them. He
Yeah,
created 'em.
it's replicas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
they're just stuffed. There's just art. They're his art. So,
Yeah, because if you ever hear if somebody has a real a Bigfoot and you're and no park rangers, no FBI, no cops ever visit the person with the Bigfoot or military or anybody, it's fake right off the bat. Because if there's a taste of a real Bigfoot in somebody's backyard or something, it will be visited by our government, guaranteed 100%.
yeah, for sure.
Now here's a picture. Like I was telling you, I was talking to you before we shot the, before the show started. That there's always a lot of backside pictures.
Yeah.
A lot of back and if I'm looking at this again, when I'm again the hair, there's hair like on the back, but when it gets near the butt crack and down the leg, the hair stops. Like, and if this is a Bigfoot that lives out in the woods, he's going to have hair on the whole body because that's survival to keep warm.
Yeah.
And people,
Well, there's gonna be different hair things,
yeah,
I'm not
I guess so.
quite sure. There's a fine line for me between hair and fur. And, but even from the first moment I saw this particular trail cam photo, I still didn't it's like, "Whoa." Initially, yes, you wanna believe your eye wants to see 2 legs, right, and shoulders, but look at it. The more you look at it, now all I see is bear. I mean, I see the ear popping out. I see paws. I see the tail nub. And now that's all I see is bear there. It just is a weird angle. And that happens a lot. And I sent you examples of how trail cams can pick up, things that the way they
Yeah.
move at that
But
instant, it's weird.
what I wonder, again, I'm just speculating here, but I know Ron Cosmic Neighbors is more of an expert on how cameras can take pictures and stuff. Because when I'm looking at the picture, it, the big, the so-called blob has a black like outside line, like it's almost like it's outline going from the
Oh,
head
I see what you're
down
saying.
to the front of
Yeah.
the leg and the back. Now, some people say, well, that's the camera, but if that has almost like a black outline, I don't see no black line on the trees or anything else that's there. If people know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about, I know Ron knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
But there is almost like a black blur wrapped around the Bigfoot. Like it's been altered color on purpose because there's no black line on none of the trees.
Right.
And I think Ron's in the chat, and I know Ron will back me up on this. I mean, if you really stare at it, there's a black line wrapped around the body.
Right.
Why? And
I just
why
see it
nothing
as
else has it?
shadow because it's like directly in front of that trail cam.
Yeah.
So that flash is gonna be well, it depends if this is gonna be infrared. So it
See, like Ron says right there, it
yeah.
looks like a cropped picture. That's what I'm getting at. It looks like a cropped picture to me too. Because when you do a crop picture, that's what when you crop it, unless you
Uh-huh.
have the most scientific computer in the world that cleans the black blur part in front of a body, it looks like a crop to me. I mean, hey, again,
Oh, yeah, I see
like you
what you're
said,
saying. I don't see that in this photo. Um, only because I see a bear, I don't see a Bigfoot.
again, see, Ron is backing me up. Ron is saying, but then the trees should have shadows. Bingo. That's my point.
They do.
If the cam is
Look at the one on
creating.
the far right. You see the same black on the side there.
Okay, I see. I
My
see.
TV.
Yeah, there's a slight little black. So yeah, you know,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm no camera expert. I'm looking at all angles. You know, you got to look at everything. You have to. You just can't not. And of course, when I scroll down, because everything else is almost perfectly clear.
Also, something you need to consider is that this person failed to show us the picture before and the picture after. If that's a
Why
true
is
trail
that?
cam photo, they're gonna have a picture before and after this photo because it is staying in frame. It's right there. So you would 100% have a photo after this and before it, and they're not showing it because it shows a bear walking in there. I
And you're absolutely right. Now, if somebody had a camera and something's running, I can maybe get there's only
yeah,
one picture, but this
yeah,
thing is standing. So if
yeah,
this thing is
yeah.
standing, they should be at least 10 to 20 until something scares it
Many,
to take
yeah,
off.
I agree. Many. There should be many photos with this, and this is just the one that looked weird, you know?
And then this is just somebody creating a
Just me. Yeah, I did that.
oh, you
I
did that.
see,
Okay.
yeah, I see the ear coming out on the side and
Oh, okay.
and then the paws at the bottom. Many people were saying, "Well, that's a dog man. Look at the bottom of the legs." You know, it has that resemblance of the dog hind legs, but in fact, it's just
Oops.
um bears look like that, but those aren't feet. Those are paws. Even look up below what would be an elbow. You see the paws. You see the underside of the paws, and I didn't circle that, but I clearly, even when you blow that up, you can see back of the paw, not hands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like how you circled the paw on the bottom because again, there's that black
Uh-huh.
line, and if it is if it's not a black line, if it's part of the body, yeah, that could be a paw. That would make sense. And then
And
these are
these are
all just looks like multiples.
Yeah, these are well-known photos that
Yeah,
people have claimed were Bigfoot, and they were proven not to be Bigfoot. Um,
especially the
w
one with the trash can with the blue or whatever
right.
that blue thing is. That's definitely looks like a bear.
Yeah, they're bare. The one on the left is a recent photo taken from the Bluff Creek, project, and it shows that bear flipped around weird, kinda like the Jacobs photo, and I did not send you the Jacobs photo, but that
Oh,
one shows a weird entity in front of a tree flipped over like that, and it was a prime example of how their bears are just move in weird ways, and
did you
it
see that?
was good to catch that.
OGG OGG wrote, so am I missing something? Does it say AI left bottom of the picture? AI? This picture here? I don't
Where?
she's just saying, does it say AI left bottom of the picture? I see
Left
where it says camera 2 August 17. Hmm. She's got better eyes than I do.
Oh, I don't know which picture? This one we're looking at right now?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
trail
Oh,
cam
GG. Are you
picture.
talking about this picture or the previous picture? Because I don't see anything. I mean, this one says
That's
reveal.
a cam. It was a trail cam photo. I don't there's no AI anywhere.
And then
Yeah, that was, recently brought out from a West Virginia guy saying that Bigfoot let him take a picture, and then the Bigfoot saw that he took the picture, and he got pissed off. He broke the guy's wrist, smashed his gun, broke his phone, and, later he went back, retrieved his pieces of his phone, and was able to take it to a friend who
Oh,
was able to extract the SD card or whatever and extract the photo, and that's what, came of that.
she was talking about this one because she wrote, "Get the picture in full where you were debating the bear." This is one where we're talking about the
Mhm.
bear.
Okay.
So, so
That's just a trail cam photo.
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen. First of all, um, okay, breaking his wrist. Okay, so you're able to get that close to a Bigfoot. Put your finger up, and then the Bigfoot's gonna allow you to get there to do that. Then he's gonna decide to hurt you. Okay,
Yeah.
hey, all right.
But I've seen no interviews with this guy. There may be one out there. I don't know. I haven't dug way deep into this one. Um, Originally, I think it came out from Smoky Sasquatch Stories and Survival YouTube page. So maybe they've got the inside track on that guy, but I don't know. I think it's a cool picture. If Bigfoot looked like that, it looks believable. Oh. Not that I think it's real, but interesting face, you know?
Yeah,
Not
and of course he has
looking.
no eyes. The eyes is automatically blacked out, and
No.
and if
So it
now,
leaves you to think, is this AI
well,
generated? Is it a guy in a suit? If it is a guy in a suit, I've never seen this suit before. Um,
well, one of the things I've learned or heard from people is one of the reasons why, I mean, guys, this is speculation, why they never really show the eyes too much because the eyes is the easiest way to know something's fake or not. So a lot of people would black out the eyes so it takes something away from you saying it's real or fake. And when people see black, instead of wondering it's fake, it brings a mysterious, like, I'm not saying darkness to it, but it
mhm.
makes, believe it or not, when they black out eyes, I learned this is it it makes people's brain to think more of it being real, where there should be eyes there. It's a trick. It's a way to trick your brain when they black out your eyes. I learned that.
Yeah, because eyes show life, you know? Um, they're part of the things that for example, when you go into the ocean and you run into sharks and they have these big black eyes that are void of life, it's very menacing, right? So uh, the eyes show life. And especially since we've had so many different people saying that, oh, their eyes are all black. They have none of the white part of the eye. And then you have people saying that they look exactly like a human's eye. So, you have all these different accounts and people tend to look at that to see if this is a creature that is more human or on the human side, or the animal side.
See, people, I love horror movies, and I love how they make horror movies. So I watch a lot of behind the scenes, and one way to make people believe something's real is not showing too much, show mysterious darkness, and it's a way to make people scared and stuff, and people like scare more than something looking too real. It's kind of like the Jaws thing, where, well, first of all, they couldn't get the shark working, but by hearing the music and the mysterious, it makes you more believe into something. So a lot of fakers do the same thing they do in horror movies. They do it with pictures or their own little short videos. Trust me,
These
people, I
little
watch a lot of horror
things,
movies.
little things, because our imagination
Yes,
makes things scarier. We make
yes.
things scarier for sure.
Now, one of the things I don't know, if I admired this one guy who you interview, who got caught with the most stupidest thing in the world, trying to prove that he had a fake Bigfoot in a fridge, and let me and you know I'm talking about is Rick Dyer.
Yeah.
And when I think about this interview you did, and I remember this whole thing when it popped in the world before, you know, we found
Yeah.
out they were faking. Now, actually, a lot of us in California, I remember when the story came out, a lot of us in California automatically knew it's not real because the group he put himself with are from Las Vegas and they already had a reputation of being fakers and liars. So it's kind of weird that Rick Dyer's group got with the Las Vegas, who's already been caught, and still tried to pass this on being real. And what's scary about this is people actually believe this. People believe that it was real, and this guy made a lot of money from it. So it's
Oh, yeah.
scary and it's weird, but do I admire him for being brave now? Is he brave because he got caught? I mean, you interviewed the guy. I mean, would you get from the interview this Rick Dyer guy?
Well, that interview went kind of how I expected because I had been talking to him behind the scenes for a little while. You know, I needed to get to know him in this case because he was very hated. You know, people in the Bigfoot community hate him. And I needed to tell him that I wasn't going to bring him on the show and I wasn't going to bash him. I was going to let him explain things, talk about what he wanted to talk about, and because he did it, to have him on a show, I wasn't just gonna be like,
Well,
bam, you know. Now my
no, you did it
second
right.
shows, I did 2 shows with him a year apart. The second one, yeah, I hit him pretty hard. I don't think he'll ever come back on my show again.
Yeah, but you already had him on. See, what people
Yeah,
gotta
but the
understand is when
first
you have
one,
somebody on the first time, you do gotta make them feel comfortable. And the
yeah,
reason is you try to make them feel comfortable is you get
mhm,
them talking, and then you're kind
exactly.
of where they slip or not. You're trying to get their point of views and
I
get all this
wanted
information. Because if you
him
went
from
hard with them
exactly.
right off the bat, like you did with your second one, he would have froze up, stopped, and you would have never gotten nothing out of him.
Right. Yeah. And he did, you know, he told us how things happen. And there was some stuff that was disputed near the end of that brought Steve Calls into the picture, and they had it out. They duked it out near the end of that interview, which was a hot minute, okay, of back and forth. No, no, you said this, you and it was a little bit intimidating. I wanted it. I'm gonna say it. I wanted that to happen. I did. I wanted it out. I wanted to see what would come of that. It happened in about 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. It settled down. They started talking, and everything was good by the end of that interview. And I will tell you, he in that interview, he said it was all bullshit. Everything was fake, except for his tent video. Okay. He has a famous video of him in
Yes.
a tent with a Bigfoot near a tree. He
I
said
know
he
that one.
always maintained that was real on live air. The minute the minute we got off live and had a backstage after show, I call it after show, it's just we're backstage shooting the
Yeah.
shit. He totally was like, all of it's bullshit. The whole damn thing's bullshit. The actor we hired for the outside of the tent is this guy. He worked on this Lord of the Rings over here, and he did this, and he was complaining because the suit was so hot, and he it, so he's still on. Okay. The personality you see online changes when he knows nobody's recording.
And
So
they're
there's
actors. When the camera's on, the smile is up,
yeah.
they're perfect, and when the camera's off, they're assholes behind the scenes or whatever. Their
Yeah.
true personality. is behind the
I mean, it
scenes.
was a complete where, he was focused on the interview and this was this and yeah, I did that and I made 50,000 on this and this is where the money came from and then I made 180 grand on this and I wrapped my cars and I took Hank out and then I told these kids to meet me in California, but that was bullshit. I was never going to go there and I mean, we got a lot out, okay? That kind of confessions, true confessions. And then when it was over, he was like kicked back and he was like, yeah, that's all, there's no Bigfoot out there.
Record the backstage from now on. I know what Grasshopper's talking about because I recorded somebody backstage and stuff and showed that they were really lying and stuff. So I know what he's talking about. But then on the backside, if you do that, nobody's ever going to talk to you.
Nobody's gonna come on.
So you damn if you do.
Trust me, I wish I could hit a record button and stealthily record some conversations I've had behind the stage.
Now,
but that's another whole thing, right? That is confidence. You're showing that, okay, you're telling me these things. I promise I'm not going to say anything. And that's part of my integrity, that I'm not going to divulge anything that you wouldn't put out live. I'm not going to divulge in that. You can talk to me and it stays with me until, you give me the go ahead that I can tell people these things.
Now, the only thing that I will agree with Rick Dyer during your interview, when he was talking about top people who gets invited to all the cons,
Yeah.
that them themselves, not saying they're real or fake, but they will shit on other people's stuff on purpose so they can stay on top. I will agree with them on that because even myself tried to get involved with all these cons and I never get invited at all. And I've heard a few people saying, no, he's too on it, or not on it, but he's too loud. He'll say something that you might hear us say. And he's right. He is right on that. People who are on top wants to stay on top. And the best way to stay on top is make everybody else seem fake. And they're the only real ones out there. It's a fact. I'm not going to tell you who I think people who are on top that are fake or not. That's up to you to decide. But he is correct on that. But
he claims he saw some pretty big names in the Bigfoot community faking footprints outside the whole Ohio Bigfoot conference.
And there's a problem with that. Now, because he got caught, the best way to make people kind of forgive you in a way is when you come out too much. You're like an open gate now. Well, this person, like now, instead of the villain, now he's spilling the beans on everybody. Is he doing it just to save himself? Or is there some truth to it? And I believe there is some truth to it. I truly do. Of course, I wasn't there. I'm not with these people because I never get invited to. So,
Yeah.
I will say I will never go back to the Yakima Valley.
Whoever they want to believe. Because Rick hoaxed 4 or 5 different times. Okay? Probably more. But I focused on these 4 or 5 different times. And people still, they knew, and they're still coming back for more. Yeah. Because it's our little Bigfoot soap opera. I would tune into him every day just to see what the next shit he was going to say.
Yeah. Well, he's not aiming for you. See, the thing is, he's aiming for the people that don't research, don't give a shit, and then watch him, right? And it's kind of like the old Howard Stern thing. I remember back in the day, he says that people watch him because they love how dirty or what I mean. And there's people who watch him who hates him, like the church, the parents against whatever. So you got both worlds, and it doesn't matter who's agreeing with you or not. It's about how many people are watching you, how many clicks, how many views. At the end of the day, it matters about that. So if you could get both sides to watch you, dude, you're a winner. You're a winner.
Yeah. He truly believes in the whole what is it? No promotion is bad promotion, or no advertising. It's all good. All of it, good and bad, whatever is being said, it's still out there.
Now, I'm gonna show you a couple of videos. I want to get your opinion on them, and I know a lot of people know. I'm not sensitive on it. It's just that we know there's fakery out there, but you, in your heart, you wish that the people that you've been around with are real, and then it kind of, I mean, you know this, it kind of hurts you knowing that the people you believe that should be real turns out to be fake. Now, I'm not here to talk about the person itself, but I want you to look at the footage. I want to get your honest opinion on the footage itself. Now, I'm showing the video that I put it in, so it's part of where I caught the person lying on air. I mean, I caught him. He said it himself. And I want you to not focus on the person I'm talking about, more of the footage that
Okay.
that I'm talking about. So hopefully I'm getting that right. Up a little bit. You back up. Listen to this. Please listen to this.
And the paranormal thing with me and Ron with the fucking hand.
Yes.
Now let me ask you a fucking question. I asked Ron when we were there if he hoaxed that.
Good. Okay, now you're going to see the footage, people. You're going to see the footage coming up. But you heard him right there saying that he thought Ron was faking it. And then, of course, I show proof of videos that that's not the case. But I want her to watch the video itself with the hand. I want to get her opinion on it. So he asked Ron. Let me go.
The joke myself.
Okay, hold on. Apparently, let me. Where's the, guys got that? Okay, here we go. Did he question his mouth? If what I should have wrote the timestamp. You know. Here we go.
Oh, nice. Hey, Ron, look at this.
Hold on. Okay, now just right there. Okay, so apparently he discovered a handprint on a wall. Now, again, I admit that sometimes when you have friends, you want to believe everything that they do, everything that they say. You want to believe that the footage is absolutely real. Because I was on there, I was like, wow, that is the best ghost finding one, not the best, but top 10, because if that's a ghost hand, that's amazing. But when you look at a hand like this, I mean, since you weren't like as close as I was with the person, when you look at that hand, what are you thinking?
Well, I like to watch paranormal shows, and I like to watch, some of these ghost shows out there. I've never seen one quite defined like that and hot. Okay. Now, that being said, I don't know the footage before he zoomed in on that, is if it's all intact and we can go back and watch that, because what we're missing is that wall when there was nothing there. Okay.
You know what? That's an awesome point, because all the footage that I have seen watching, you're right. I see the wall for the first time and the hand's already there.
Yeah. And
the only other footage he had was apparently there was a ghost walking across a window, but that wasn't that shot of that hand.
Another thing is, if you are looking for paranormal stuff, you need to debunk immediately for that, because you're in the right place at the right moment to debunk paranormal stuff. So immediately I would have gone and put my hand on the side there and pushed my hand in there as far as I can for a few minutes and taken it off to compare my hand to that.
Well, actually, Ron did that.
Do that?
Compare, but
I didn't
the thing is, Ron would tell you that everybody has different handprints.
Right.
It's like fingerprints, so nothing is ever going to be exactly the same. So you could put 3-4 hands, it's never going to look exactly like that. Now, some people can say, well, that one's lighter, but that one's dark. Yeah, but you don't know if that person put that hand there longer. And if you really want it bright, you could carry a hand warmer. There's so many ways you can get your hand harder. Like you even do this.
Oh yeah.
And then you have somebody else put their hand.
Right. That's just a heat sensor there. And it's kind of also weird that the palm is cut short. Like, I don't know. I've never seen anything quite like that before. So it's hard to judge. But I think that I would have to go back and re-look, at what's going on. But it looks like the video is spliced right before the shows that. So I don't know.
Well, let me see here. Okay. Anthony goes, okay, so what I'm trying to get here, like, he right off the bat said that he thought, so Ron could not see. Okay, what I'm trying to get there was, I'll take it off, is when I meant there, I don't want to play the whole thing, that he said that he thought Ron hoaxed it, but then he didn't realize that Ron kept the footage that's the thing. He didn't realize that Ron kept the footage where he was calling Ron to him. And then Ron went to it. And the first thing Ron said is, did you do that? And what I mean is I caught him saying he thought Ron did it, but Ron had that footage where he was nowhere near it. He was the only one there. So when somebody automatically, like, it's like me get caught. Well, he saw it first. No, he did not, because he didn't realize he had that footage. So what happened was when I showed that original footage where I didn't think it was real, he came out and responded and said, no, I thought it was Ron. And then Ron had that footage. Boom. It counter what he said, because sometimes people forget that there might be other footages out there. Kind of like you're saying, Nikki, like, what was the footage before? What's the footage afterwards? Is there another footage? And there was another footage to prove that he got caught and he was taking the blame and trying to put it on somebody else. It kind of reminded me of your interview with Rick Dyer, where he got caught and now he's blaming everybody on the Bigfoot con, which I still think there's truth to it. But when you get caught, instead of just taking it like a person, you're blaming it on everybody else. That's just it's human nature.
That happens on all kinds of different areas. But Bigfoot, paranormal, UFO, they are always saying, just record from the beginning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, never stop recording, because you just never know.
Ron never stopped recording. Ron never did. He didn't know that Ron was recording. And what I love about that is in that case, Ron himself realized what the person was doing, and he left. He never went back to him. And now this next video, I got no side videos to prove this footage is real or not, but apparently this in this background here is supposed to be Bigfoot. I never know if he made an opinion on this or not.
Mike, shut your flashlight.
I think I went on his show to look at this, and I never got asked. I waited for to say my opinion about it, and it never happened. But it doesn't look like a Bigfoot to me at all. It doesn't even move. And people say that it ducks down or something, but the camera's moving. If you look at those leaves on the left there, when those leaves move
straight in the woods there,
that means you're changing the focus of other things, foliage in the distance, moving in front of a solid object.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because you just said like moving, like he just says it right here. Yeah. It's moving. Here we go. Watch. I'll play the volume up, and he'll start moving, and I get what you're saying.
Okay. Oh, it's ducked down. It's squatted down, bro.
Where? I mean, I'm looking at that now. I'm saying squat down. Where did it squat down?
I saw nothing. I saw no movement in that object whatsoever. I only see the movement of the camera. And I'm the worst camera person, really. And I can see that there was nothing moving. And that is what, when you're out there and you think you see movement, you have to like really stay focused on that and not move unless your intention is to move closer or to get a completely different angle at this thing. But
Yeah. It stays it stays
stays
on that one shot
right
right there.
there.
Like you
Yeah.
said, there's no other
And I
angle.
understand, I think there was a dip right off that trail, so they couldn't go forward, right?
And like I said, I'm not questioning everything, but you have to question everything. What I mean is, there was a group of them there. So if one person thinks he's got Bigfoot and everybody has their own cameras, in theory, wouldn't you all start shooting your cameras at the same spot if you think that's a Bigfoot?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would think so. I mean, again, I wasn't with that group. I wasn't there. I don't know what people are thinking, but one of the person was so calm. So if other people are calm, then I can't see why they didn't pull out their cameras. Because if you're trying to prove that Bigfoot's real, you would think you want every footage you can get trying to prove something. And if this is all I got, it's
black. Now, another thing is, I don't remember seeing the follow-up. Did they go back out there the next day during the day?
Oh my God. I think, God, such a long time ago now. And I believe they did. And you're right. If you did, you would go to that spot to see if it's cracked, if there are seats, especially if you are saying that what I saw was a Bigfoot. Because I remember I tell people when we had our encounter, we thought it was Bigfoot. We went back the next day. We went to look at the ground, look for broken stems, seats, or footprints. They never did that, right? I never heard. I mean, I haven't heard, but anybody in the chat, if you heard, please put it in the chat. Let us know. Yeah, there was a video footage and they found a foot.
You have a pretty perfect picture right here of leaves and a tree and a thing in the middle that you can absolutely line up because they're off a trail. I do know they're off a trail, and that it wouldn't be that difficult to line that shot back up during the day.
Now, I know some people have asked me, but Eric, you knew about it, for like a year, and you never talked about it in a year, and I've admitted to people that sometimes when people were your friends, you don't want to, you're like, okay, let other people figure it out. And I think what triggered me to come out and say my backing is the whole thing, everything that person has done is fake, is because there was a letter he wrote to the community that the reason he left his channel is because the integrity of the community are faking things so badly that he doesn't want to be part of it. And that triggered me, because it's like, you're talking about yourself. You integrity. To me, if you believe what you're doing is real and right, you're going to do whatever you can to fight and keep going. You're not going to say you're going to give up on a channel, which the truth is he lost monetization and he opened up another channel because he lost income to his channel. But that's another story. But kind of like you heard bad shit about yourself, you know that, but you never stopped. You kept going. You're fighting for the truth. That's what I think an investigator, a researcher do. Even when things go wrong or bad, you keep fighting for the truth. You keep going on air.
To the facts. Everybody goes out there and records at night and weird shit happens, but it's just that. It's just noises in the woods. It's not a Bigfoot. It's not a bear. It's noises in the woods until you can confirm what it is. It's just creepy shit out there, right? And that's what draws us out there to hear that stuff and to experience those cracks and to be on camera going, did you hear that?
Well,
Because that's the whole fun of it. But I don't know what it was. It could have been a squirrel for all I know,
Yes.
making all that noise out there.
yeah. Well, I tell people know my family are hunters, deer hunters. I'm not saying people. There's a lot of people who are against hunting, but I get that. We grew up in the woods, and we're
Yeah.
always in the woods. And I'm telling you, at nighttime, there's so many noises that happen at nighttime, and you don't know. You can't recognize every single noise you hear. And if I would come out and say, I don't recognize that noise, that might be a Bigfoot, I would have 1,000 stories. Because
Yeah.
not everything sounds the same. Because when you got things fall from a tree, the distance, what is it hitting on the way down? How heavy the pine cone is. I mean, we have a lot of pine cones.
Exactly.
There's different sizes of pine cones. There's a little bit pine cone. Different
Look at the
things hit.
floor.
Bears
You go
walk.
out there, it's littered with down trees, with pine cones and rocks and pieces of the outside of the tree, the bark, and all that stuff falls. It falls, and when trees fall in the woods, they make a lot of noise. So all of that stuff you got to take into consideration, that it's always changing. The earth is always
Always.
changing. The forests are always changing, and you just happen to be in there at that time.
Bingo.
And hope that you're putting yourself in a situation where maybe you run across a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to be able to find them. I don't think we can go out and find them. They are going to run into us
Yes.
one
Yes.
time,
Yes.
one day.
Everything, I'm not saying real or not. Most stories is people are just camping. They accidentally run into them.
Right.
Everybody who looks for them, and I agree with Batman. He said 100% night in the woods is a whole different world. And he's right, because sometimes in the daytime you will hear the same noise, but it doesn't have the same effects because it was daytime versus nighttime. I mean, that's just a fact. Now, if a lot of you have never gone to Sasquatch Secrets, I know a lot of you I see in the chat been there. This is her channel, Sasquatch Secrets. And you can see she has tons of live videos, interviews. And I love the ones where you're just being yourself, just, not in a show environment style. And I love those kind of things, that you got ton of content, and you got shorts and videos on your channel. And now you also developed a new channel called Sasquatch Dark. And again, explain to people why did you feel you had to do that channel? Sasquatch Secret Dark, and then not web, dark. And Danny, if you can re-put that in the chat for me, I appreciate it. Why do you feel like you had to do a second channel?
Well, now that I've finally reached that 1,000 pinnacle mark of subscribers and I've become monetized, not like it's a big deal, but YouTube now hits you with every little thing they can hit you with for a 3-second music thing, or using something on on your slides or whatever. They hit you now, and you have to fix that stuff.
Yep.
And I don't want to. I wanted a place that I could have other discussions without having to worry about YouTube and monetization. And I'm telling you now, Brent, the tall ones, has the right idea. He never monetized. He has 13,000 subscribers, and he never monetized because he didn't want to have that to be held over him on how to do his videos or what to talk about. And even he has created a dark channel because it is so easy now for people who have channels. And if you talk about them, they hit you with a strike. They hit you with whatever they can to get you to remove that content, even though it's just opinion. It's all opinion, it's all commentary, criticism, which is all part of fair use. As long as
It's
you don't make, showing their whole video or whatever on your show, I think it's fine. I think I should be able to pop up photos or short clips, maybe under a minute long, to describe or just to have as a description, for making your point, why you think
yeah.
whatever.
And what people
Whatever.
don't understand about fair use is a lot of channels won't let you do it, even though on their fair use you can. What people don't understand is to actually win fair use, you got to go to court in some of these videos. And who's got the money to go to court for a 3-second video? You don't. So
No.
in a lot of ways, fair use is there, but you can't win because you have to go to court to win. And again, we don't make no money. Even if you're monetized, you might get 5 cents.
Yeah.
And I agree with having another channel. Like of course, I have other channels. They're not called a dark channel. I love music. I have a music channel, and I know that music is the #1 thing to get hit on. So my other channel, when I talk about my era of music that I like, if it gets hit in a way, I don't care. I keep going because
Yeah.
but if I do it on my main
Before-
channel, it could be enough.
I
that's
did
gonna
that.
take it down.
Play whatever, right? Because
Yeah.
we would be sitting around Friday nights or Saturday nights, and we'd all hang out, and I would do music night. It would just happen, and I would just play excerpts of music, by people would let me know what they want to hear, and I was just being DJ all night long. I went 3 hours playing
Dark
songs
Gypsy. I love that.
before I got hit and taken off the air.
I love that. I
And,
love
I'm
that.
like, "Oh,
Thank you,
okay, it's
Danny.
nothing,"
Well,
but
also,
now I can't do that because now I don't want to get the channel
I
strike.
tried doing some music stuff on this main channel, and every time I do some music or movies, it's like talking to crickets. And
I tried to do a movie show too, and it was so fun. I had the theater,
Yes.
people were coming to watch old movies. They were all common, what do you call it? Creative Commons. So they were free on the internet, and I still got hit and had to. And I was so stressed about whether they were going to let this one go or not let this one go that I just canned the whole thing because I don't need that in my life. It was so
No.
stressful not knowing what they were going to allow and not allow.
Exactly. That's
So-
why, whatever happens on my other channel, I mean, I don't want to go down because I love talking about music. It's a
Right.
passion of mine. It's fun. But if it does, I'll just create another one and keep
Jeremy
going.
has the right idea. He shows 30 seconds to 2 minutes worth of a video, and then he's done with his video, right?
Yeah, but
Is it-
like you said, it only needs 3 seconds to get hit.
It does. I don't know. It's
I-
weird how they can. I played 3 hours worth of music one night and didn't get hit, and then all of a sudden I was playing and I looked over and I'm not even online. I'm like, oh shit, when did that happen?
I like what Danny. I don't know how Eric's brother does it, but he plays music all night and gets away with it. You know what, Danny? He is the luckiest son of a bitch in the world, Danny. When he was talking Mandela effects, never got taken down. I had another channel called Mr. True Thoughts. I had him on talking Mandela effects. I get shut down. How
Really?
he gets away with it and I don't know how he does it. It's amazing.
Because it's because of how late.
I don't
maybe?
know. It's just it
My
was
shows
funny
have been
because
after 8 or 9, and they would stay up for a while.
it's just funny. He never gets knocked down and hit. But Nikki, I appreciate you coming on. It's it's fun to get other people's perspective on certain videos and your point of view on and how it is important knowing like how do you try to determine what's real and not. And what I've learned is you ask the right questions. Is there another footage? How come there's only one picture? The thing is standing. It's not walking. It's not running. So it's still there. you know, and those are important. And I hope if people hear that for the first time, that's the point. Well, I want people to hear on what to do. Because at the end of the day, unless we're there, we're never going to be 100% sure. We weren't there. The only way something, like I always say, with every UFO and every alien talk in the world, unless an alien ship lands in your backyard and you go outside and you shake the hand of ET, it can't be 100%. It can't.
You don't know. I mean, look at all the new stuff that's been coming out with the UFO stuff, you know, but now with the technology, like you say, with the AI and all these CapCut and all these different apps that just allow you to put stuff in your background, and it's hard to tell. It's going to be hard to tell what's real.
Harder than ever. And again, I always say you got to trust the people that you watch. And again, I'm guilty of trusting people, and I got shafted. I thought certain people were real, but you know what? I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going and surround yourself.
You have to do your own thing and let people stew in their own shit, you know?
That's it. That's it. So when's your next show coming up?
Well, I'm feeling better now. I've had the co-junk for a week now, but I had to come up with the show. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I usually start working on a show on Thursday for Sunday. So I'm working on a show, but it's for the Dark Channel. But now somebody else is sick, so that might get pushed back a week, which is fine, because when you do a show like that, and I have to have all the receipts and stuff, it's going to take me a while to blur out all the garbage. And so I'm going to try to come up with a show for Sunday. We'll see and it
does suck when you're sick, because like I had the bad luck where I was sick this week. I got hurt this week. Then last week I had to go to Oregon, because daughter had to go to some kind of a concert thing up in Portland, Oregon. You know, so we had to spend 2 days there. So it's like I've only been doing one show, seems like every 2 weeks, but things will get back to normal, people. I promise. Yeah. I promise. Originally me and Nikki were gonna do this Monday, but you got sick. Then we're gonna move it on Tuesday. Something came up I had to do, so we moved it to Wednesday. That's just life. It's just life.
Yeah, it's life. I've had some shitty stuff happen in the last month, and good things happen in the last month. So it's just we're regular people, just like you guys. You know, we gotta deal with the bad and the good. Normal. Yeah, define normal. I like.
You know what? You know, Grasshopper. I should do a show after I do my weekly therapy appointments. Then you probably get the real emotional side of me. You probably don't want to see that, because I admit to people I go to therapy every single week. And you guys should see me after I go to therapy appointment, because they bring stuff up that, like, man, I don't know if you're an open book, but you're an open book, but people don't want to see that. But again, I want to thank you for coming on. It's always you always have a good time. It's stress-free, it's more relaxed, and it's for awesome. Sure. Beyond that, people, I hope you guys appreciate this, and I will tell you guys, hey, I might be on Thursday, but I probably won't. But I'm going to try to come on Friday with Dr. Wu. But it just seems like there's so many things that comes up it's hard to say, yes, I will be on that day, and then you're not. I know I hate being that person, but it happens that way. But beyond that, I'll see everybody next time, and I appreciate everybody being here. See you, Nara. So what ending shall I do today? My ending will be the Howard the Duck intro today. So guys, enjoy Howard the Duck.